Whether you have tens of thousands of photographs or just a few hundred to sort through, this video is going to share with you 5 amazing tips to declutter and organize the printed photos in your home. This video is sponsored by Harry's. More on that in a little bit. Sometimes it can be difficult for us to get started on a project that includes decluttering and organization. Roadblocks like just the sheer volume and size of a pile, fear of letting go of something, sentimentality, and many other reasons can really hold us back, slow us down, or even cease our progress. One of my current projects is to organize thousands of photographs stored in 6 large storage bins in our basement. Welcome to this video. It's part 2 of the Photograph, Declutter, and Organization series. Part 1 will be linked below. Allow me to share tip number 1 in this video. Sort first, organize second, declutter third. Usually I tackle a project using the reverse of this, by decluttering first, then organizing, and I sort as I go along, as I pull stuff out. I often talk about decluttering as 2 main steps: deciding to declutter and then actually getting it out of your house physically. But what can we do when the deciding part of the process is too challenging? This tip to sort first, organize second, and declutter third might solve for the difficulty in deciding what to declutter when it comes to your printed photographs. 1 bin at a time. That's how I roll anyway. Plus, if it's up here, it'll be more in my face and encouraging me, silently talking to me, telling me to do the project. About a month ago, I attempted this project and I could not get started. I felt held back by the size of the project and by photographs of my brother, who passed away earlier this year. I had to give myself permission to not declutter that day, and I shared that in part 1 of this series. My challenge was getting started. I was leaping forward in my mind, trying to decide which photographs to declutter and how to organize the ones I even wanted to keep. I thought about the project as one big action step, and I got stuck. Comment below if you have ever been stuck on a decluttering project before. You can put a hand up, just give me a comment about what decluttering project you got stuck on. I know we've all been there, so please support with kindness in the comments. And I genuinely felt supported by kindness in the comments of the first video in this series. Your comments got me unstuck. Allow me to repeat that. Your comments got me unstuck. I had to realize that this is not a simple project. Due to the volume and the number of decisions that have to be made, I could not start. Your kindness pulled me up and got me thinking about how to get going. In fact, the 5 tips in this video, in part 2 here, were pulled from comments in part 1. That makes them amazing tips. Thank you again for your kindness. Tip number 1 was sort first, organize second, declutter third. Tip number 2, use grocery bags to sort. Don't focus on how you're going to organize the pictures you're keeping or worry about decluttering anything yet. Just sort into smaller categories into grocery bags that are labeled and create smaller individual organization projects. So many of you suggested organizing into categories by time: my childhood, my husband's childhood, our marriage before kids, with kids, unknown category. I labeled each grocery bag by time and simplified the decision-making process for myself. It is not a decluttering or organization decision at this stage. It's just which bag does it belong in for right now. Sorting made this project easier to get started. And sometimes we just have to start, like in a kitchen declutter or our clothes closets and wardrobes. We just need to dive in and start pulling things out. And in other times, like this one, the photograph decluttering and organizing project in this video, our approach has to change. That just starting or just diving in is not going to work because it's too much. We have to start with a sort. Allow me to take a moment and thank Harry's for continuing to support my channel and for sponsoring this video. Harry's makes simple, high quality shaving and personal care products. And I ordered a starter kit razor for my husband to try, and I'd like Andy to share with you how much he is enjoying Harry's razors and why he signed up for a subscription service.
It's a smooth, quick shave. I can shave quickly with it, and I don't cut myself with it, which is nice. The back of this one actually has a razor on it, so I had to think about that. But it lets me get right up in here, whereas a lot of razors don't. I end up going to work. I've got like a little tiny little mustache under my nose, which and irritates me. So this lets me get in there. I can get that.
Andy's razor kit is the ocean color, and it has these deep grooves for an improved grip. You can redeem your starter kit for $5 when you go to harrys.com/Erica Lucas. In your starter kit, you're going to get the 5-blade razor, weighted handle, a blade cover, and the foaming shave gel. This starter kit could be a great stocking stuffer, a birthday gift, or just for someone in your life to try out Harry's. Tip 3 was so great. It just lifted me up. Recognize the win you're starting with. Someone commented that I had all of the photographs already gathered into 6 bins, and that was a huge win. To mark that I'm starting with success. If you have a project in mind, what can you call a success to help you start? Sometimes we just need to acknowledge the desire to declutter and to live with less as a win. And that desire to keep a tidier home is a win. Naming that success can help us motivate to take action. Tip number 4 is to compartmentalize the hard parts. Maybe a hard part for you is to imagine what you could even declutter when you're tackling a room or a pile of stuff. Take that difficult decision out of the process temporarily and start with what you want to keep. Toys, for example. Start by pulling all the toys into one pile and pulling out what you want to keep. Then comb through the rest of the pile and decide what to put onto the toy shelf, what to package up for toy rotation, and what to donate to another family. Using limits and physical boundaries of toy shelves and bins can really help you, sticking to one category per little cube or shelf, and then deal with what's left. So comments from part 1 suggested I put photographs of my brother and my childhood into one bag or 2 bags or 3 bags for later decision making. That maybe this is not the year to organize any photographs of my brother. Do not even think about the duplicates or the trash for this category. When it comes time, I can consider how to make piles for my brother's children to give to them when I'm ready. And compartmentalizing that portion of the project is removing a barrier to the decluttering and decision making. And tip number 5 was ask for help. This tip really got me thinking. The first time I attempted this project, I attempted it alone. And the second time I attempted it, I asked my husband for help. And then I asked my kids to help. Kids love looking at pictures, so this is a great project for them to help me with. I must have tens of thousands of photographs to sort. Why would anyone want to do that by themselves? Many comments shared ways to organize when the sorting part is finished, like albums or scanning them digitally or photo boxes. I'm going to share those in part 3 or part 4, however this series evolves. I'd imagine the next step is to organize by micro category and declutter as I organize, but I'm still in the sorting stage and I'm still recognizing my wins. Just from this step of sorting, I was able to create a trash bag for obvious photographs I knew we could declutter, that I was confident I had no problems letting go of. Starting off this massive organizational project by sorting first landed me with a starter pile for decluttering, and that feels like a win for today. I am very encouraged by the obvious trash because that feels like progress to me. Just cleansing the stuff that we don't need to be able to focus on the stuff that I might want to keep. And I haven't even decided keep or not keep yet. All I'm doing is sorting. And so when I find obvious trash, it's strangely motivating because that's an easy decision. That is the only decision I'm giving myself right now as far as decluttering or keeping. Everything else is just sorting, and I can't decide what to keep just yet in these other bags. like a pumpkin from 1984. 1984, we lived in California. This was apparently a pumpkin I decorated, so I don't need that. Liberty Bell trip. This is just like a bunch of seals. I don't know. Picture, a blurry picture of my first dog, Benji. This is nothing. This is, I think, my graduation from high school, but it's just the back of a bunch of people. No idea. Don't need it. Decluttering one day at a time means we only have to focus on the small victories of today. Tomorrow's another chance to make progress and declutter some more. This video here, The Art of Decluttering One Day at a Time, shows you the messy parts of life and how small decisions can add up over time. Thank you for sharing a part of your day with me.